Oh my. Okay. Um, so we are recording.
Okay.
Okay, so I set up the questions in such a way that it should hopefully work kind of chronologically through your career. So just focus on your background. So you taught high school art before. Um, what was that like for you, and how has the that teaching shaped your approach to your own work?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, well, I taught for 5 years, and so I mean, it was a pretty good chunk of time to. I think teaching what it does is really help you decide whether what you're thinking about in terms of your process or how to do something or just general, principles of design, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about whether, what you're professing is true for you. So, I mean, it's really good in that way. Like I learned, you know, I guess um, to be more specific about, um, kind of um, what I was thinking in terms of my work, the work itself. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, so teaching will really do that. It'll help you really understand something because if you're going to have to describe it to somebody, you're going to have to really know what you're talking about. So,
Right.
yeah, I would say, I guess, about just learning or teaching basic fundamentals of drawing, of, the principles of design, elements of art, those sorts of things. I guess those are a little more rote, but, just really helping people learn how to do something kind of drove it into me, and
Mm-hmm.
and I guess specifically in terms of drawing, I would say probably more than anything else.
Yeah, which is, extremely disciplined medium.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And
Did
then
that answer the
yeah,
whole
that's
question?
yeah, it's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. So after teaching, um, you started painting regularly after you took a Marin Phillips plein air class. Um, so when exactly how long ago was that, and what was it about that experience with Marin Phillips that kind of really sparked the um, momentum for you?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think that was in 2016.
Okay, so we're coming up on 10 years.
Yes, and what that did. So I just a little background from that. I would walk around, a city, this city, any city, but walk around this city and see these scenes, and they just looked like paintings to me. And I was always like, I know it's a thing to go outside and paint. I know that's like a thing. So I just, I don't know, one summer, I think it was, I was just looking for um, a class that taught plein air painting, and I got a catalog in the mail from the Northeast ISD um, continue or community education catalog, and
Hmm.
so it was um, they had all kinds of classes, and I was like, oh my gosh, they had this painting class where you could go outside. That sounds great. I've always wanted to do that. So yeah, I took this class from Marin Phillips, and she was just great. I mean, she's a really good painter. She really knows her stuff, and she really is inspiring and very supportive,
Hmm.
and really encouraging in terms of like how to branch out, what to do next. Kind of, what I loved about her teaching was that she would get real excited about what you were doing,
Mhm.
and it was like contagious, so it made me just like already you're outside, you feel the energy of the, the day, the energy of nature around you and other people and that kind of thing. But then there was like this added element of her just kind of real passion and excitement for the painting itself, but also for, what I was doing. And that it was contagious. It made me feel great, made me feel inspired and excited. So that was one thing about her.
Mhm. Yeah, it sounds lovely. I know that that kind of support is really important when you're just beginning something, but especially in the arts. Um, so from in these past 10 years, how would you say your practice has evolved to now?
Okay, well, initially I was, just doing it once a week, maybe, whenever I could get out and go do it.
Hmm.
Um, but then COVID happened.
Right.
I mean, okay, let me back up a little bit. I mean, I would go out once a week and do it, and then maybe eventually I started taking an extra day off a week of work.
Hmm.
So I forgot to mention that. And then I would maybe go out 2 days and paint a little bit at home. Um, and just sort of do that part time. But as I kept doing it regularly, even though it wasn't as often as I would have liked, I just built this like love for it. I really wasn't very good, to be honest with you, but I just loved going
Oh
out and
my,
doing
I'm sure you were better than you think.
it. Maybe so. But so a couple days a week, and then COVID happened, and I couldn't go to work, so I just was like, oh yeah, this is what I'm going to do. And I went out every day, every single day. I painted all day, every day. It was
Hmm.
like, I mean, I know COVID was a difficult time, but you know, in that regard, it was kind of great because there was hardly anybody out.
Hmm.
So I just had this like world to go out in, and I could paint anything, and there's just was this freedom. So I just did it all the time, every single day, and I just, that's when I really started kind of building momentum. And then I started doing these paintings for the food bank, like just I would do a painting a day and like auction it off for the food bank, and
Aw.
just to kind of like, I have all these paintings. What am I going to do with them, right? And it
Yeah.
helped me keep the momentum going. It helped me want to do a new one every day, something different, something just to build my skills. And yeah, so that's kind of how I guess where it went from that first
Yeah.
class.
Okay, so when you are going out into the world and you find a a space or a composition or just something that to you needs to be painted or needs to become a painting. Um,
Yeah.
I know. So you talk about it in your, I think your artist statement that when you're being pulled by the moment, a shadow or a stoplight. What can you be more specific about that? Like, what does that pull feel like? Um, how does the stoplight? What does the stoplight say to you exactly?
Yeah. Well, gosh, there just has to be one thing, just one thing that makes me really feel excited. And to be honest with you, I mean, like if I'm in the city, it's everywhere, like
Hmm.
on every corner. So, I mean, I am excited by so much, but I guess if you're asking like what specifically that looks like, I feel like I really am drawn to the kind of mom and pop stuff. Is this kind of what you're asking? Like, what is it?
I think
Like what it's speaking to me?
more about sure, yeah, I would love to hear what visually speaks to you, but I think I'm trying to ask more about the kind of amorphous inspiration, emotional feeling that you have.
Yeah, okay, okay. Hmm. What does it feel like?
Just to make
It's
it harder.
yeah, I guess the closest thing I could say is when you just like are getting a gut feeling about something. I wouldn't say that there are butterflies or
Mhm.
anything, but there's just a knowing, there's
Mhm.
just a knowing,
Just
and
a
that's
light
as
bulb.
really specific as I can be. I mean, yeah, there's a connection to something, and there's a knowing, and I think that the best thing to do is just not to ever ask why, because it's um, or second guess that.
No, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. I feel like the why is kind of none of our business, right?
True, it's true.
um okay, so then speaking of, different locations, obviously you're here in San Antonio, and so therefore you paint a lot of San Antonio. Um what is your relationship to the city? Like, are you from here? Were you born here? And um, what do you think exists in San Antonio that you can't find somewhere else?
I love this city so much. I
Oh,
moved here in 2003, I think, because my folks had moved here, um, I don't know, 99 maybe. And my dad
mhm.
was sick, and so I just moved here to be with them in the last months of his life. And I just stayed. I just stayed here. I'm not from far away. I'm from Georgetown, but and have lived in Austin, some years. But when I got here, there's just something about this city. There's like a grit to it. There's this
Mhm.
really like, there's a lot of like just earthiness, some rootedness. I
Mhm.
love that we're so close to Mexico and there's such a Mexican history to the city. And I feel almost sometimes like it's not like I'm in a different country, but I sort of sometimes feel like I'm still kind of like a visitor to a different place
Hmm.
because of um, because of that, and I love it.
Yeah.
I feel um, there's so much color here and uh, family, um, the history, just the history of the city with the missions and all of that. I feel gives it something a little more magical, a little more um, mm,
Almost like sacred, right? For lack of a
oh,
better
that's a
word.
good word. Yeah, that's a good word. I like
Or it
that.
makes me think of the like a ancient Roman ruins or something. Not that, you know,
Right?
I don't think our missions are quite as old as those would be. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just special to the culture here. I totally see that. Even though I've been here my whole life, it honestly confuses me when I go somewhere else and it isn't so diverse,
Right?
that I am like I'm really like blindsided when I go, I don't know, to Colorado or something, and
Right.
everybody looks the same. All this town looks the same, or I don't know. And here, you cross one street and you're basically in a different world.
Yeah. I love it.
I know there's
I
surprises
yeah,
around every
totally agree.
corner.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, did I
I
cut you
agree.
off? Did you have
No, 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 no. I agree, and
mhm.
yeah, and sacred is a good word, and I just I feel like there is kind of a mix of, of cultures here, and it works, and it's always has in this really unique way, and I just love it. It's my favorite city I've ever lived in.
Aw. Okay,
Yeah.
well, there you go. So I have my next question for you. Um, are there parts of the city that you haven't painted yet and are planning to? And are there other cities or, just locations on the list to go and explore and paint?
I don't know if there is a part of the city that I haven't painted.
I
I
would be
mean,
surprised.
po- possibly like, I mean, I guess if we're talking like Stone Oak and kind of out like 1604, um, unless it's like a park or something out there or a trail of some kind, I
Hmm.
don't typically go to those areas just because um, I I just visually don't find them as interesting. But
Hmm.
not nothing against, they have good
Well,
restaurants and
I think
stuff.
they're
It's just
just,
like
they lack that rootedness that you were talking about.
right,
They're not,
yeah, they're just
they're not as
newer,
ancient.
right? They're newer, yeah.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as like wanting to paint, uh, kind of places that I haven't, um, I'll always look around this city for nooks and crannies I haven't seen before, and they're always there. But as far as um, kind of outside of here, the I mean, small towns all over the place have these great little old squares and
Hmm.
main streets. Alston and I talk about, well, and we go and do it. We go and paint these little towns when we're traveling. So yeah, I mean, I'm all over that idea. Just little towns, old buildings and little towns. But
Hmm.
I also like, any city to paint.
Right, fair enough.
I want to go and paint in Houston. I mean, Houston is a really interesting place also, and
Hmm.
you know, also has a really rich and diverse population, and a lot of history, especially in the downtown area. And I and I yeah. Anyway, so I would be interested in painting Houston
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I would be excited to see what you capture in, somewhere else. Not that I want you to stop painting San Antonio, but I'm just curious what would be different,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's see. So some of the titles of your work are kind of in the past tense. Um, like formerly Oscar North Flores and We Used to Live Here, um,
Mm.
which is kind of a narrative of, the passage of time, of course, but the way that a city changes. Um, so, would you say that part of the goal of your work would be to kind of create a snapshot of the city?
Well, people always say, well, yeah, I mean, people say that sometimes, you're documenting history, by doing this. And I feel like that's just part of the deal. It just
True.
is part of it, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I mean, this city is changing rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that's um one of the things I have enjoyed most about doing uh some of these paintings. Like I painted Kitty Park, and it's moved its location,
Yeah.
but I painted it in the original spot, and that's just one of the places. Um, is it the pig pen? There was
Mm.
that place, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just so many places that have been here for so long, and you know, they're being bought by somebody who's going to do something else with it, and progress, whatever. But it does feel good to have documented them. I
Yeah.
don't really know where all those paintings are,
Oh,
but
no.
it would be maybe back in my Instagram feed. Hopefully, I have like you know um, a catalog of them
Yeah,
somewhere.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, well, I think your work is amazing. I tell people about you all the time, and say, well, depending on, usually it's something they're doing, and I'll say, oh my God, I know someone who does it way better. Look at this. um,
Oh,
yeah, so
oh, thanks.
I am grateful that you agreed to this little interview for me.
Yeah,
Um,
no problem. Happy to help.
is there anything else you'd want to add before I, stop our recording here?
Hmm. Well, I guess I would first of all just say that you have really good questions,
Oh,
and
thank you.
yeah, I appreciate how thoughtful you were about them. And also, I just really would like to express how grateful I feel to be able to do this work. It is like, I mean, I just every time I'm out there painting something, I just feel this wave of, gratitude. I feel like there's nothing else that I have experienced on this life as in this life as of yet that really like plugs me into, you know, whatever that thing that connects us all is,
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to call it. I
Sure,
mean, this
source or
is it.
whatever.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it. This is it. And I just, and have immense amounts of gratitude for being able to do it. So if there's
Yeah.
anything else I'd like to say about it, it's
Okay.
that.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
well, then I'm glad you did. Um, I think maybe part of what allows you to do the work is how grateful you are for it. Um,
Oh,
and that's only, I
yeah.
mean, that's a speculation. I can't know that, obviously. But there's something about the humility of, um, just knowing that that you have something special, um, and wanting to protect it, that kind of, I think it gives an honesty to your work. I think there's a very clear love and appreciation for the subjects of your paintings.
Uh,
Yeah, and
well, and I'm glad that comes through because it's real.
it
I feel that.
absolutely does. I joke sometimes that, well, that you paint things so beautifully, and then I'm used to them in my life, and I walk by that building every day, and to me it's some horrible building, or I don't know, that you transform things to, um
Mhm.
you transform things in a way that lets me see them differently too.
Oh, thanks so much.
Oh, you're
That's
welcome.
really sweet to hear. Really nice to hear. Thank you.
Hmm. Okay, well, thank you very much for talking to me today. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, seeing what else you have in store for everybody.
Oh, cool. I have some fun ones that I'm doing. Actually, studio paintings that I'm doing of the King William Parade. Um, so little moments that I've
Ooh.
captured at the King William Parade last year.
Oh,
I'm
that'll
real
be
excited
so
about them.
fun.
So I can, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
So
very cool.
yeah. All right, girl. Well, thanks.
Uh-huh, thank you.
Okay. Take
Okay.
care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.